Hello, everyone. So I had already done a reading on Trump's, daily health and happenings for tomorrow, for Monday, and because this is Sunday, what is this? 17th, I think, and I may or may not upload the other one. I can't remember. Well, whatever. This reading. Sorry, I don't need to tell you about every little detail of my process, do I? The pitfalls of a card reader. So with this one, I'm using Kipper, Ciro Marchetti's Kipper, and the question is, so we have this. When I did the other reading, I didn't know about the. I just thought Zelenskyy was going to the White House, and I didn't know it was going to be tomorrow. So now I'm finding out that there are, Mark Rutte. There's Mark Rutte from, the Secretary General of NATO. We have Ursula von der Leyen. From the European Commissioner. She's like the president of the whole European Commission. We have Giorgia Meloni, from the Prime Minister from Italy, and Keir Starmer from UK, and Macron coming from France, and the other two dudes from Finland and Germany. So, and of course Zelenskyy. Okay, so if the main male comes through in this deck, it's Zelenskyy. And Mark Rutte is going to have to be like the younger dude, because he looks like him. What else? Yeah, I'll figure him out when we get there. With the women, I think I can figure that out easily enough. So, with the NATO European countries coming to this meeting, coming to the White House to visit with the felon, the White House squatter, and Zelenskyy, how is this? My question to the cards is, how, and my guides, please show me. Thank you so much for lining the cards up to let me know, to let us know, how is this meeting going to wind up going for Zelenskyy? Who wins? Putin aligned with, basically Trump aligned with Putin, or Zelenskyy? Putin wants all the Donbass. So who's going to win? How will this wind up? It may take, who knows, could be a year before we know for sure whether this reading is correct or not. But let's see. How will this go for Zelenskyy and Ukraine? There. Okay, so the good fortune card coming out in the center is a really good sign for Ukraine. It's the biggest challenge. It's just such a challenge for them. They've been tortured with worry and stress. Now this would be the adjudication. Well, let me go ahead and get the cards laid out. That, because I think that card would just be the stand-in for the process of everyone there. So here we have Mark Rutte standing in for NATO. This I'm going to call Giorgia Meloni. The marriage is the partnership, the giving. A lot. Yeah. Something coming full circle and tons of giving. This is another one of my, would be another one of my NATO cards. And this line here over Mark Rutte is a little concerning, but let's see. Okay, so this would be an agreement, the giving of an agreement. I'm I am thinking that this would be, well, not thinking, for sure, this would be Ursula von der Leyen. Okay. The security of all the countries, the movement of being able to move around in all the countries. This is my trump card. I had that in my mind when I started even thinking about it, because you have to assign cards. There are 6 people cards in this deck, so I'm going to keep going a little further. Okay, yeah, there's the thievery, trying to steal countries. Okay, so all right. Well, okay, I had to start right here. So the Great Fortune card is really, really good, actually. It has to do with being rewarded for honoring your true calling. So this is all about Zelenskyy. He probably didn't even imagine years ago that this is what he would wind up doing, but he's a very strong man. Healthy, strong man. So anyway, yeah. Wishes coming true from NATO. You know what? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to predict that the NATO will get Ukraine into their organization. Trump is here going, oh, shit. Oh, dang. He's restricted. Trump is restricted in his work for the Poodster. To quote Lori over the Way of Positive Change. Hey, Lori, if you're watching. Yeah, so. The risk that Trump has been under working for Putin is met with the official capacity of NATO. And Ursula, being the European Commission president, can restrict Trump. And the complaint against Trump and Putin, going back and forth, all of this, so bottom line, on one level, Trump is going to be seen as the danger, the enemy, the guy that is betraying and lying and cheating and trying to evade the matter. And they know that he's in bed. They all know that he's in bed with Putin and has been for years and years, decades. And so the despair card knighting to Trump is not good. That any work that he thinks he can do will not be successful. It's totally restricted, will be restricted, because they're going to get Ukraine into NATO. This is the creative solution, besides this, possibly being Georgia Maloney. I think this, I'm just going to actually use this card for the stand-in card for the creative, wealthy solution against Trump and Putin. Yeah, because this concern card down here, just in case you guys anyone's new to Kipper, this card is about somebody who is depressed and who's puzzled and super ignorant and at the very least insecure, but this puts him in a helpless position. This is somebody who really can't concentrate. It doesn't have any real clarity. He just keeps going back to I want. And all he wants is to do his deed for Putin. But, So he's going to be, at this meeting, he will be puzzled and trying to, his brain will basically be stuck. This is an OCD card, obsessive compulsive disorder. And so he's the liar, he's the thief, he's the one not to trust. They all know that. They've been complaining amongst themselves. The despair card knighting to Trump's card, to Trump, basically, I'll just say, has to do with himself being tortured and worried. Not sleeping well, worried about losing his job. Meanwhile, they've been investigating him and what he's doing. And yeah, I mean, they're just, they've been playing. All the NATO leaders have been playing the long game. The long game, and it's coming full circle. And they're the ones with all the power. This is the Great Fortune card is the best card in the deck. So Mark Rutte, with all of his power, and Ursula von der Leyen, and all of her creative, and everyone just get out a map. Just go online, Google the European countries that are in NATO, and then look at that in relationship to Russia. They're basically all protecting, Russia from coming in, and Ukraine, and you can also see what countries Russia has already taken or invaded, and the little tyrant just, God. He could have had such a different life and used that power doing something much more, just neutral at least. But no. So Mark Rutte down here will give the gift of creating, I don't know if it's called articles or whatever, to get Zelensky's here, to get Ukraine into NATO. And that gives Zelensky security, and it lets him in, lets him into the big house, of protection. And so with the pathway card here now, so timing for all of this could take 1 to 6 months, and because there could be some distractions that come in between, and still some more invasion into Ukraine. I don't like this at all, but I do like that Zelensky's here. He is the answer. This is my answer card here. He is looking forward to the gift, and he loves the strategy to finally be let into NATO. They should have done it a long time ago. I have no idea why. I don't know. Is it that the USA can try to block it? Maybe is this Trump trying to block Zelensky or Ukraine from getting in? I don't know if it works that way. I would think Mark Rutte would have more power, because with the marriage card next to him, this is all of the countries. So maybe, who knows? Maybe they kick. Well, now I don't think they can do that. I don't even think they can kick anyone out. Well, I suppose they could if they were, if we did something terrible. But, it's more like they just don't let people in, or countries in. So, but I think Ukraine is going to get in. Zelensky's strategy, it's been developing for a long, long time, and now there's safety coming in. Yeah, when it comes to a little bit of land, are they going to, that's what he's worried about, anything being stolen any more land being stolen, especially from the Donbass regions, I can't remember the two. There's two. Forget it. I won't even try to remember the names. But anyway, so the deal is with the journey card up above, knighting to Zelenskyy, something's going to come full circle from the past, because he's looking towards the past. So something will be rectified from the past. I believe it will be getting into NATO. And yeah, and then he'll be moving towards good fortune. And Trump will be seen as the cheater and the liar and the thief with, this could be Putin back here. We can just call this Trump. Doesn't matter if it's a woman. It's seduction and lies and cheating and stealing and rivals and dangerous enemies. And it's somebody, wherever this card lands, the people cards around it are close to danger. So all of the wealth and creativity of the European countries are close to danger because of Trump. And especially Ursula von der Leyen, her being the European president or European Commission president, she's willing to take the risk in her official capacity to do the work she needs to do in order to restrict Trump, because she sees him as the real danger. And yeah, I mean, really, I can't say, I can say a whole lot more, but I really don't have the time. I could do a lot of mirroring and knighting and all that, but I'll just tell you because I can see the cards and see where things are going. I do believe they will eventually get Ukraine into NATO and wind up restricting Trump and us, I mean the USA, but it's one way to get him out. And things are going to start coming full circle in this new partnership, this new agreement with Zelenskyy, with Ukraine. So, yeah. And they may have seen something that caused them a lot of stress that had to do with, besides this giving, what Zelenskyy needs, what Ukraine needs, there's also the possibility that they've seen Trump taking bribes, that they have some evidence of Trump taking bribes from Putin and other countries. Remember that $10 million and a bag of burner phones to oh my goodness, Zelenskyy? I can't remember if the bag of burner phones and the $10 million. No, it went from Trump. That's right. Trump took $10 million out of his campaign account in the first election and gave it to Zelenskyy, and it was a bribe to do something, and I just can't remember what. So things like that, because he's done it all the time. And Zelenskyy knows. I mean, Trump's first impeachment was because he tried to buy off Zelenskyy. He wanted Zelenskyy to get dirt on Hillary. And Zelenskyy said, no, I'm not doing that. Homie, don't play that. So, okay, I'm going to get this uploaded, and I hope you guys are having a really good weekend. Take good care as always. Bye.